is Sports Drive.
All right, everybody, welcome back into Sports Drive. Joining us now from TPSN, it is Mike Roden.
The TPSN Breakdown.
Mike Roden joining us for the TPSN Breakdown. Yeah, what do you think of that?
I've never seen that before. Where'd that come from?
I don't know. I just noticed there was a button on there that we should use more.
Okay.
It said TPSN. You've never seen that before?
I have not.
Maybe a while ago.
Wow.
Well, we have it now for the TPSN Breakdowns when Mike Roden comes on.
We're going to call my segment. So
I guess so. I guess it may, you know, like I said, sometimes these buttons do things I don't even realize. So Mike Roden in for the TPSN Breakdown. And what we're breaking down this week is the Randall Raiders baseball team heading for the regional finals in Midland. Pretty exciting, obviously. I want to start with the big question that everybody's going to be wondering. The plans for TPSN, what's going on right now? Just update us on where things are at in the process and what your hopes are for how that's going to turn out.
Well, we are hoping to be able to live stream. We of course, carried the series last week and had great response to both games. Actually, more for the home game than we did on the road game. But had more clicks, more views, but still good for both games. And so we appreciate fans tuning into that, and I thought Steve Rivera did a great job calling the play-by-play. You know, he's a Randall guy. He coached a long time at Randall. He was the head baseball coach, of course, and then went to Lubbock High and coached there for a long time. So he knows his stuff, and I enjoy just being able to listen to him analyze the game. He gives interesting insight to it for sure. You know, sometimes he wears his coach's hat a little too much on the balls and strike calls, if you know what I mean. You know, coaches are kind of opinionated when it comes to balls and strikes. They, even from the dugout or the press box, wherever they might be, they think they know if that was a good pitch or not, so which they usually do, interestingly enough. But anyway, he did a great job. So this week, on to this week, we have submitted our application for the live streaming rights to the series. That doesn't always guarantee you'll be given the rights or granted the rights, but we've at least applied for that and hoping that that will be approved, and if so, we will have video live streaming of the series.
Do you feel hopeful? I mean, obviously, you know, I guess you never really know with UIL. You never know what's going to happen. But obviously, you got approval last week, so that was good. Got to video stream that one. Do you feel like that, you know, gives us any sort of ideas to what the decision might be this week?
I don't. I feel good about it. I think we'll be granted that. Even if Stephenville originates a live stream themselves, they usually let both sides do that. The only drawback would be if the UIL was picking up a stream of the and putting that on NFHS. And so if that happened, then we would be excluded. But I don't know of that happening. I don't think that'll happen, but we'll just have to wait and see. Probably we'll know for sure by tomorrow. And
I think that you've talked to me before about, you know, some of the ways that can go is a lot of times some of these high schools are, you know, NFHS schools, and they have cameras, and I guess it's usually the gyms. That's usually it's inside a gymnasium, less so on a field. But of course, one of those games going to be played at Greenwood, but the other one at
Christensen Stadium.
So I imagine the chances of that are somewhat low. I don't know if a lot of these baseball teams even have cameras like that, like they do in basketball.
Right. Well, and what the UIL does or can do is they actually hire someone themselves to live stream the game or the series on NFHS. I haven't seen them do that a lot in the baseball playoffs, honestly. I mean, just a handful of times. So, yeah, we're hoping we can have the live stream for folks here in the Amarillo area, and even if you're not on the World Wide Web.
Well, it is interesting, you know, Coach obviously talked to us about Stephenville having been there before. There's a tested team, but obviously they played earlier this year, and Randall won that game pretty handily. It's hard to draw a direct correlation and say that's how that'll go this time around, but they are just on fire right now, this Randall team.
You're right. They did play. It was actually the second game of the season, if I'm not mistaken, when they played. So that was back on, oh gosh, it was like in February. So that tells you how long ago it was. But it was a 10-2 Randall win. And, you know, you look at the overall records, and I know you can't really compare records or scores, but we do it anyway. And Randall's record stellar at 36-3 now. and they've won 32 straight games. So, I know Stephenville's a good team. They were their district champion. They're back, as you said, in the regional finals this year. But I think Randall's a favorite, and I've not seen anything that would indicate Randall is not going to be able to win this series. I know, the other team's going to have a lot to say about that, and you've got to play the games. But Randall is just hitting on all cylinders right now. They've outscored their playoff opponents 86-12 overall.
Oh my gosh,
that's
just
domination.
A
it really is.
For the playoffs, it's just a ridiculous.
Yeah, these are playoff teams, quality district championship teams, and Randall has just dominated.
And how many games? What are we talking? Are we 6 games or 8 games? How many games in are we right now?
Well, that was the 4th round last weekend, so this will be round 5.
You're talking about that's less than 2 runs a game.
Yeah.
I mean, allowed, and more than 10 runs.
And they didn't pitch their what a lot of people would call their ace in last week's series, as you heard Coach Hamilton talking about Carson Hafner not pitching last week.
Never mind their D1.
And their one of their top players, Cole Dudding, set out the series. So, this team is loaded. They're deep, they're talented, they're hitting the ball extremely well, and obviously the pitching has just been incredible. Right. Peyton Bush is another top pitcher that could probably start on any other team every game. But on Randall, he gets a rare appearance on the pitching mound because they're so deep. So I like Randall's chances, sure do.
Absolutely, and you mentioned Stephenville and the research that's you've done on them so far. I was looking last week, and I don't know if I was looking in the right place, but I was looking at that TABC poll. I didn't see Stephenville on that last poll. Yeah, and Canyon was there, and of course Greenwood beat Canyon, and Stephenville beat Greenwood. So I don't know how much you can read into that, but that was something that immediately stood out to me, which was I don't even see this team on here, which is surprising for a team that in 4A was a regional finalist, 1 or 2 years running to this point. Yeah,
I don't know, and I haven't really looked a lot at Stephenville yet. Monday was a holiday, so I didn't do much yesterday. But I don't know how many players they have back from last year's team. Yeah. I would think there's probably quite a few, so it's probably a veteran team. But that might be a little surprising. But I don't think Region 1 has been really highly ranked other than Randall all year long, honestly. For whatever reason. So I think the Raiders are definitely the favorites. You got to go out and make sure you do what you have to do to get to state and not look ahead. I mean, boy, they can't get caught looking ahead. But I think, as you heard Coach Hamilton talking there, I don't think they'll be guilty of looking ahead. This is a senior-dominated team. I mean, they have, 6, 7 seniors in the starting lineup and then many others coming off the bench. That it's just a veteran team, senior-dominated team, and they play like it. They really do. So it's been fun to watch. Absolutely. Well, we'll see if they're able to get it done this week, of course, in Midland. And that was really fun. I want to show you something real quick before we get out of here. There was a little moment. Actually, I'll tease it. We'll do it after the break. We'll have Mike stick around. We'll do it after the break. But there was a moment at yesterday's Nazareth game that I think you'll think is pretty cool for the coach and everything like that in the team. So we'll be right back with a look at some of the stuff that went down at Nazareth advancing to the state tournament next week, or I guess, next week, Nazareth advancing. Yesterday they did. So we're right back with a look at that when we come back on Sports Drive.